Welcome to the Sherri Johnson Show, the podcast for real estate agents who are ready to stop chasing their next deal and start building a business that provides predictable and consistent monthly income to even double or even triple your income and sales production in less than a year. I'm Sherri Johnson, international real estate coach, speaker, consultant, and the creator of the exclusive Goldmine Pipeline strategy that's helped thousands of agents add over 6 figures to even 7 figures to their bottom line. If you're ready to generate more leads, crush your income goals, and finally play the long game, you're in the right place. Let's dig in. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sherri Johnson of the Sherri Johnson Show. I'm so excited. Today's guest I've admired for years. I mean, decades. I've known this woman practically my entire career. It's fun. So
Long time.
I know Sonja Halstead from Wadsworth, Ohio is in the house today. Sonja, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
It's going to be a great session. We've got a lot to unpack, uncover, talk about, share. I literally, I love your story. You have a grind and grit success story. You have an unbelievable team. You're doing crazy numbers. Give everyone listening, just before we get into how you got into real estate, and before we talk about all of that cool stuff, tell us and tell the audience a little bit about, the people listening, where you're from, your average sale price, people on your team, how you're set up right today. We'll talk about how you got there, but like number of units, total volume, just to give everybody a little bit of size and scope on what you're doing.
Yeah. I have 8 people on my team. My son, John, my oldest, is one of them. And my team is amazing. I thrive on allowing them to run their own business inside of my team. I think that's why I've kept a lot of teams sometimes have a lot of overflow, or they not overflow, but like people leave and come. I have kept my team members for years, and I think one of the reasons I do that is because I don't over micromanage them. I let them run their business. I let them make mistakes. If they make mistakes, they learn from them. I'm a firm believer of that. So I think that's great. My son John is one of them. I have Renee Bricker. She's my longest team member. She's amazing. She's honestly so good at her job. Amy Hammer is my full-time assistant, and she also is a licensed realtor.
Okay.
Kaylee Riddell is a licensed realtor, and she also is my assistant. She does a lot of my social media and my marketing. She's very,
Nice.
very young and good. And Tom Fisher, he's on my team also. He's longtime resident of Wadsworth. Very, very good. And then Jackie Rodriguez is actually my cousin. She wanted to get her license.
Oh,
and
nice.
She's from Medina, so she just joined my team last year. So we're excited about that.
And you're around 30 plus million.
Yeah, we most of the time we sell between 170 and 200 houses a year.
Wow.
2020 was crazy, so that year we sold like 215, I think, and that year we also did like 42 million in sales. But most of the time we're right around 30 million.
I have to stop you just listening to this right now and hit the pause for a second, because you're like, we usually sell, 170 to 200 houses a year. That is unreal, and that it's not unachievable. It's just amazing. So congratulations. I know you've shared with me before that you don't do this for the money, but the money is great. And we're going to talk about why that has been sort of your North Star, what you do, how you do it, your team members. You started with this, we both started at Smith Kramer Company, which I think is really cool. 1996 for me, 99 for you.
Yep.
I remember
99.
I'll just tell everybody, I had like 27 sales my first year, sort of, quasi whatever, rookie of the year. I remember you were rookie of the year at Smith Kramer, weren't you? I mean,
I was, and I think I had like 70 listings that year. So it was crazy.
Yes, it was. It was like nuts.
Yeah.
This is such a great story. So we both grew up at Smith Kramer. Obviously, we worked at Hanna together. You're currently at KW Elevate in Wadsworth.
Yes.
And you've had, again, 26, 27 years of just doing this business at such a high level, at such an amazing referral level. Your people love you, your team stays with you, you don't have the turnover. You've been doing this really, really well at such a high and I mean like top 1% nationally, like half a percent nationally. Tell us all, because I want to hear the back end story. And I think it's important for people who hear your story to realize that they can do what you've done. And that's what I think I love about you the most. Like, hear this, you have a no holds bar attitude. You say it like it is. You're a straight talker, straight shooter. I'm the same way. And that's what makes you you, I think. So, how did you get licensed? And then go into sort of how you've gotten to where you're at today.
Okay, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible for you guys, but I graduated with a 4.0. I grew up in a lovely family, but we were very poor. And I remember when I was about 15, I literally said to myself, I don't want my kids to live like this. Not that I had a bad childhood, because I did not. But we just didn't have money. I couldn't buy the clothes I wanted. I couldn't, my hair didn't look the way I want, everything, being a girl. And I started writing down, and this is going to be crazy to you guys, but I started writing down every year. And I tell when I go to schools and talk in schools, I do this.
Yeah.
Every year at Christmas time, I would write down what I love the most, not cars, or I'm sorry, not like my makeup or my boyfriend or my dog. It was
Right.
like what I love. And every year I had the word people written on there. And by the time I was 18, I thought I was going to go to school to be an accountant, go to college. I
Okay.
graduated with a 4.0. My parents were like, "Oh my gosh, she's the only one in our all of our four kids that are going to go to college." Well, I didn't want to. I met my high school sweetheart. I wanted to get married and have babies. My dad was not happy. So we did not get along that my junior and senior year of high school. And I told them I was not going to do that. So I moved out when I was 17 years old. Not that I didn't love them, but I was like, listen, I
Wow.
can take care of myself. I don't need you.
Wow.
And
Wow.
my dad told my mother she's going to be back in a year. I never went back.
You never went back.
I never went back. So I started working. I was going to school. I was working full time at Wendy's back then. Um, like I said, I just love people. So every year I would be like, I need to do a people job. So I thought I was going to be an accountant. And then I was in an accounting program
Mhm.
at the Career Center in Medina. And I realized I'm going to be sitting in a cubicle talking about their taxes. Like, this is not going to be fun. So I didn't do that. And then I got married, had my babies. My kids were probably 3 and 6. And I was a stay-at-home mom. Thought I knew I wanted like 6 kids. Thank God I didn't, but that's what I wanted.
I
And I
love
was
it.
like, I need to go back to what I want. Like, I need a career. And I got my real estate license. There's a realtor. Her name is Barb Lesher. She's still licensed today. She helped me. She was like my mentor. She helped me get my license. I was I passed the test on my first time, which anybody that knows, that is hard to do. But I studied every single day and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, I'm going to be a realtor. There was an agent in Wadsworth. A lot of you are going to remember her that are older. Her name was Michelle Smith. She was the number one agent in Wadsworth. I idolized her. I wanted to be her. She
Yeah.
tried to hire me a couple times in my young career.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, nope, nope. And it's sad she passed away young, but I knew I wanted to be her. I was like,
That
I
so
want to be a top producer, but this is going to make you laugh, Sherry, but I didn't want to be, I call them lipstick realtors. They're the top producers that drive all these fancy cars and they act like, can I say a bad word?
yeah, you can say whatever you want.
They act like their shit doesn't stink. And I'm
Okay.
like, I am not going to act like that. We all got our license the same way.
That's right.
I am going to be nice. I'm going to be nice to agents when they write offers on my listings. I'm not going to talk down to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to help them get better at their job. And that's how I built my career on agents love doing deals with me. I built my career on that. I built my career on referrals, helping families. I say I don't do this job for the money. Of course, when you're a realtor and you're successful, you make money. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But I literally don't. When you said top 1%, I remember when I got that, I didn't even know what it meant. because I never focused on any of that in my career. I focused on helping the people, getting them from A to B without buying a home is so stressful, especially when you're selling and buying. I was like a mediator for them. I kept them calm. I'm like, this is all going to work out. You have to trust me. And that is what I focused my career on. And that's why I get so many referrals. So I got my license in 99. By 2002, I was #1 in Wadsworth. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need help. I was starting to make mistakes. And I don't like making mistakes. I
In
was raised
3
by a
years.
Marine. My dad, as I told you, he was very tough. And he praised us to do the right thing every day and not to make mistakes, and you're going to be successful. So when I started making mistakes, I was like, I got to fix this. So the first thing I did was add Kathy Heldman. She is now 72, I think. Oh my gosh. She helped me start my business. She's amazing. And she was a buyer's agent, and she helped me with all buyers that came in. Then I added a licensed, actually, I met this.
So,
This is a funny story. Go ahead.
well, I so from 90 so in 3 years, you are #1 in Wadsworth. So if you're a
Yeah.
new agent or an agent who's like, "I have some new goals." I'm listening to Sonja Halstead from Cleveland, Ohio, and if you're writing this down, listening to this, driving, walking, wherever you are, this woman went to #1 status, not in 5 to 8 to 10. This is overnight, but not overnight. Like, it's having that. I believe you did this. You sat every year at Christmas. I want to pause for a second and wrote down what you loved. You weren't looking for material things. You were looking
Right.
for ways that you could serve, and you got put in a position that you were going to help people in their real lives. And my best friend from college, when I got my license, I'm going to share this with you. She said to me, "You have the best job in the world." And I was showing her and her husband houses. Her name's Amy Bonzio. And she said to me, Amy Svadba now, and she said to me, "You help people in their real lives. Like, this is where they're gonna raise a family. They're going to,
Yeah.
get married, have kids, build into the community," and that hit me really hard, and just listening to you talk about, "I wanna serve people and help people," and I wrote down real, authentic, how can you go in and make a difference? And it's like, and then you built relationships, and as you build relationships, people trust you, they like you, they use you, they refer you. I mean, 170 plus transactions with what is your do you know your percentage of referrals? Is it over
I
60?
don't. I knew you were gonna ask me
Yeah,
that, and I
I'm just
don't, but I'm
curious.
gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
It's
more than half.
probably it's gotta be 80%.
Okay,
It's gotta be.
that's amazing.
It's high.
It's amazing. So you started to do well, you're doing a lot of transactions, you need help. Agents listening, one of the things I know Sonia did, because at this point, I was still selling, but as I went into management at our former company, I watched you do a lot of this. So you used leverage by putting people into positions that could help you leverage your time. And when you added people, it was probably very scary to pay them, but you did it anyway. And what did it do for you? Adding these people.
It was. The best thing I did was add a full-time assistant. If I
There you
can
go.
tell anybody out there, when you get to around 10 million in sales, maybe even a little lower, if you don't add somebody, I call her the Oz behind the curtain. She makes me look better than I am. Not that I'm not good,
No.
but you make mistakes. You have a life, you have kids, you have grandkids, you have all this stuff going on. And it's somebody that she knows everything in my life that's going on. Everything that happens in real estate, I group text her and I, or email her and I. She keeps me organized. She keeps me looking like I know what I'm doing.
I
No, but you know what I mean.
do.
And
I
and
do.
when you talked about me, what I did for those 3 years to become #1, I just focused on people. That's what I did. When I was out in public, whether I was in Walmart, the store Walmart, in line, back then it might have been Kmart,
It's
um,
so true,
or
right?
yeah, or shopping on, you know, the day before Thanksgiving. I had all my business cards with me. I passed out my business cards to everybody. My family, if we were out to dinner, if I heard anybody talking about real estate, they would just be like, "Get up." They knew I couldn't do it. I had to go give up my business card. And I literally advertised my name and myself so much those first 3 years, and that's what you have to do. You can't not not if you're shy, you can't do this business because that's not true. You can do this business if you're shy. But if you wanna build a successful business, you cannot be shy in the first 2 to 5 years, or
Oh, what a great
more
line.
0 to 5 years
No, you can't getting your name literally every
out there.
person we meet, we come in contact with is a potential
Yep.
client at some point. And so it's like, how quickly did you clear 100 units? I don't remember that year.
Well, my first year, I remember I made my job I had, my husband said, "You can quit your job when you make as much money as you're making now." Well, I did it. I think I was making like 30,000 at that job.
Yeah,
I made that in 6 months. So he's like, "Okay, you quit your job." So my first year, I made like $76,000. I think I had that first year, I know I was rookie of the year, so it had to be, gosh,
76,000 people in 1999.
yeah. And then it just kept going. Like next year I made over 100. It just kept going, and I was just like,
So
I would
good.
get my 1099 and be like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I made that much." Like, because I just didn't do it. I just kept helping people. That's what I kept doing. I just kept focusing on the people. There was times where I never even got a paycheck and didn't even know because my office would be like, "Hey, this never got paid out." I'm like, "Oh, that closed 2 months ago." Because I didn't follow it like that. And I if new agents, if they would listen and not do this job for the money, they would do so much better.
I think we should stop there for 1 second. We were taught from the same group of people,
Right.
I know who the training department and, just the people, Jackie Leavenworth. I mean, we had LB McKelvey. Everyone said to us, "Put the people first, the money will follow," and I know that's how you operate. I am the same way.
Mhm.
We're not looking at people as, a transaction, and I think that's been part of a huge amount of why you've been so successful because it is a people business. You solve problems. You've had a lot of uh, very huge life events, bankruptcy, lost your home, you got divorced. I'm also divorced, not because I was selling houses though, but I know you've had life struggles that have actually not, you haven't missed a beat. You've been present for your children. You've been present for the people in your family. How did you do all of that and
You
going
know, I was
through the
raised by a
struggle?
very strong woman, number 1, but, when the market crashed in '07, my my husband and I bought a house that we it was over our needs, but we could afford it, so we bought it, and then the market crashed,
Mhm.
and you remember that, I'm sure.
I do.
But I was very successful, so I'm like, "Okay, I know I'm gonna make it through this, like, we're just gonna keep working." But when you go from making this much to this
Yeah.
much, it hurt, and I knew I had to get rid of that house, like, I had to. So I ended up in bankruptcy, selling that house on a short sale. It was horrible time of my life, um, but we made it through. I found a place to live. I rented for 4 years until I could buy again, and I just pushed through every single event. And then when I got divorced, I'm like, well, when you're the only one making the money in the family, you're like, I got to take care of these kids, so you're gonna do it. And I pushed through. Probably the hardest thing that happened to me in my career is when my husband got sick with cancer. It was 3.5 years of me taking care of him, and I knew early on, as we all know, this business is very everybody knows your business, especially the other realtors. So I'm like, I have to put this out there. So I put his sickness out on Facebook, and I want everybody to know that I was still working, and even though I was taking care of him, my team was available. That was probably the hardest thing I went through in my career. I could have quit. I could have, but I didn't.
No.
And I'm glad. And now I'm back to work. It's he died in 23 and I'm back full time. And it's just like, let's get this going. He wouldn't want that anyway. So
No, and, that was your second husband who
yeah.
I love the fact that I thought that was your high school sweetheart because you 2 were just amazing, and so I got to know him, and I love the fact that I got to know a little bit about the 2 of you. You know, tenacity, and you said a key phrase here, I have been the only the single financial provider. A lot of people listening are a single person with kids.
Yeah.
It is a thing, and it's like people just gravitate to you and I or to someone who they can say, "Wow, this person did this," and, you said it. I You have to do it. You don't have
You
a
have to do it. And you also, as a mother, you have to teach your kids that when bad things happen in their lives, they have to be able to deal with them because it's called life and it's going to happen. I know when you're 18, you think your life's going to be planned out just like you plan it. Well, guess what? It's not. And
no,
we all know this at
no.
50, right? We all know this. So you have to teach your kids that they can handle anything that God throws at them.
It's an amazing testimonial to the fact that you just have not lost that focus. So, um, let me ask you this. What did you figure out early on that most agents take too long to learn? I always love this question because it's like,
Mm,
you were so
you
far
know,
ahead. You didn't buy leads. This isn't a story where
no.
you bought leads, you did the business organically. But what did you figure out so early in those first 3 years or 5 years or 10 years that other agents, take too long to figure out?
I'm going to tell you it's the word confidence. When you're brand new and you walk into a listing appointment, if you walk in with no confidence, you're not getting hired. And even if you don't know what you're talking about, you need to find out or act like you know what you're talking about. Like get them the answers. And I learned that literally probably after my third listing appointment. I'm like, I have to be more confident when I go into these places. You have to go into an appointment like they're signing the documents before I leave today.
I
And that's that. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. It was probably confidence.
Well, and 100 listings a year plus. I mean, confidence is you're right. When you're new and you walk in with, authority and conviction and you can speak and, um, walk it. I love that you said act like you're getting a listing, that you're gonna walk out of there with the listing.
Hmm.
I think some people say, like, see yourself winning, already and that you've become successful. My other question is, like, what's the one thing you do every day that you would say you do consistently that has contributed to your success?
Okay, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, and most people, when I tell them this, they think I'm crazy.
I love it
I
already.
get up at 4 a.m. every day.
I did not know
I've
this.
done it. Yes, I've done it my whole life. I do go to the gym around 5:30, but between that 4 and 5 hour, and when I get back from the gym, I spend about an hour to 3 hours a day on my clients that I have currently. So I get on the computer, I get on the MLS. I'm texting them listings at 6 a.m. Sometimes 5 if I know they're up. Like if I know they get up early like me, I'll text them listings. If you set up a search for a
Wow.
buyer and I honestly don't like these automatic searches. You set
Right.
up a search for a buyer and you're just letting them get the houses and you're not looking yourself and saying, I think you're going to like this one. You should look at it. You're not doing your job as an agent.
Correct. Yep.
So I also do it for my sellers. I will send them, hey, I just want to let you know this listed in your neighborhood. Here's the link so they can see the price, the pictures. And I do that every day. The other thing I do every day is mail out 5 to 10 handwritten cards to my past clients, just saying hi. And I always ask for referrals. And the other thing I do every single day, and I learned this early on, is if you're not out in the world, people think you're retired. So I try to make myself go out to lunch every day somewhere different, even if I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And if it's a restaurant with a bar, I sit at the bar if I'm by myself. I usually sit at the bar even if I'm with somebody because then you can talk to the bartenders, the employees, the managers. I've
Yeah.
gotten so much business from doing that.
It's so
And you don't have to drink. I don't drink. Like you don't have to.
right.
You don't have to go there and drink. You can just sit there and talk to people. and eat lunch. And, I might have a glass of wine every now and then, but you don't have to. You can just go talk to people.
It
And by doing that, you will get business from that. You
so
will. I always wear my shirt.
yeah, I see. Are y
I have many colors.
you're, so I'm gonna hit the let me pause for a second. 4 AM every day, even on Sundays.
I do it on my new boyfriend hates it because I can't sleep in. Like I gotta get up. Like
Yes.
I gotta get up. I feel like I'm missing if I sleep past 7, I have literally ruined my whole day.
Do you know, and I've had so many people say I never knew, like, set like 5 AM to 10 AM, how much they could get done in that block
Yeah.
of time. So, this is every day, and, what time do you go to bed?
Around 9:30.
Okay, sleeping.
That's enough hours. You don't need that many. You
No.
sleep too long, you're gonna get wrinkles.
Sleeping, I don't need a lot of sleep either, frankly, I never have, but,
Right.
and then let's just so I wanna point out, you don't wait for people to tell you "These are the houses I wanna look at," so
No.
you tell them, "You need to see this one because I've been in it. It's a great house, don't judge a book by its cover." Many people are letting the client totally lead the way. And I wrote down, you lead the process. And so
Yeah.
you are 100% right. This is you said it, it's not, you're not doing your job. So agents, go into the MLS, search, tour, look at the properties, call your people and tell them, you need to look at this. Why did you not pick this one? I've been in it. Like, this is so great. You are,
And Zillow, Sherry, if you need to look at Zillow for the for sale by owners and the make me moves that they have
yep.
because you don't want your client to text you the house. Then it looks like they're doing your job.
Oh, this is so good. Like a little mic drop right there. It
I
is.
mean,
It's so true, and it drives me crazy because
it drives me
if the
I get embarrassed
client
when a client does text me. It does happen. A client will text me a house. I'm like, how did I miss that?
right,
You know
but
what I mean?
you're so on it, and it's not just about putting them on an auto system. Please
Right.
be the one that they are actually counting on for the information that we give them. It's so frustrating, but I love that this is how you do it, and I love you're talking about it. It's just a basic
It's a basic
thing
thing.
that just has been somewhat lost in all this technology. So I mail 5 to 10 handwritten notes. Is that a day or a week?
Every day.
Every day, people. So this is not a weekly function. This is
Every day. I do it in the
every day.
morning. They're short, they're little cards that say thank you, or if somebody sends me a referral, I mail them a thank you referral card with a little gift card in it. Every day. I do that every day.
That's
You can see they're sitting right here on my desk. I have them, they're sitting
every
there.
agent I've ever coached, okay, who has an 85 plus, does 150 plus sales, 180 to like you are, 200 sales. Guess what they do? These things. They literally write handwritten notes, and it's not 2 a week, it's you're doing 5 to 10 a day. That's literally 35 to 70 a week. So
And
what
if I run out of clients, like let's say you're like looking through your client list, you're like, oh, I don't know who to mail to, then get on the county website and pick a street in the city you work in and mail to anybody.
love it. I love it. This is like, I say real estate 101, but how to become a successful agent. And I loved your last line, be out in the public, or you are retired. People don't see you. This
Right.
is a face-to-face, in-person relationship business, period.
This is a relationship business and people forget. And all this technology that we have now with the online offers, I honestly hate them. I do them, but last night I wrote an offer with a lady that was my age and I'm like, we're meeting in person. Come to my office. She goes, oh, thank God. Like, and we did it and we were there for an hour and a half and I enjoyed myself. I had fun. Like,
Did
it's
you
fun to sit with somebody and write an offer. They're excited. You can see how excited they are about the house
did you write it
instead
with
of doing
pen?
it through the computer.
Did you do a pen or did you
Oh, yeah, no, I did a pen. I did it
yeah,
old school
handwritten?
pen. It was fun.
I mean, truth of the matter is that I've always said, real estate agents, you are a leader in the market, but in this Cleveland market, you are a leader. But if you are doing these things or you say to their agent, I want to present, I know we never present in person anymore, but the success rate of being in front of your client to get a price reduction goes up. The success rate of a better negotiation with the buyer when you write the offer in person,
Do
right?
you remember presenting offers, Sherri?
It was the
Oh,
best. We would
it
go
was the best. My very first offer I wrote was with I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but it was one of those lipstick realtors that were mean to new agents.
the mean ones. Yeah.
And I had to present in front of her sellers and I was so nervous, and I don't get nervous. I was sweating, like, because I knew she was gonna be mean. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get over this. Like, I'm gonna go in there and win this offer.
No,
And it was so scary.
it
But
was a
yeah, that
high.
was
It actually was an adrenaline rush, you
I
know?
remember I presented an offer once at midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight!
Yeah, for sure. And we didn't go to bed until it was done and signed. Like,
No,
I
right.
I
Nobody
went
waited overnight to think about it. You're deciding right now.
that's right. I went in the basement, in a closet. I was whispering. I'm like, "Can I
Oh my
do
gosh, we
this?"
sound old.
And then you know what was crazy? We would do, like you'd go to, like, the Giant Eagle parking lot and exchange
Yeah,
the
we
handwritten,
would. We would. We would meet in the parking lot. Oh gosh, that's so
and
funny.
you just don't like yes, it's digital now. I remember when we went to digital and people would miss huge paragraphs because it wasn't in blue ink, like, you didn't see
Oh,
it because it was all type.
the first year we went to digital, I
The
mean, you
worst.
make mistakes doing digital. I don't care what anybody says.
It's nice.
I I was negotiating this offer with my seller and we didn't meet in person, this is what I hate. I always meet my sellers in person if I can. And I missed that the washer and dryer was marked. I
Right.
had to buy them a brand new washer and dryer. I and they literally said, "No, you don't, Sonya." They were like they bought 3 houses from me in my career. I'm like, "No, I'm buying you a washer and dryer." I made the mistake.
I
So you do
I
make mistakes.
I think when, technology is great, but this business is stressful. You said at the beginning, buying and selling a home is usually the biggest financial
It's so
investment people are
stressful.
doing. And they're in the red zone, and trying to negotiate on text or email is impossible. There's just no way
I know.
to communicate all of the emotionally, driven decisions people are making about the place that they're selling their home.
Mhm.
And I love that, like, we can't really do it that way anymore, I get it, and there are some
Right.
benefits to, like, a digitally signed, it's quicker, obviously, but the piece of it that we need to bring back is really getting and I don't know that it doesn't from a time perspective, you've got multiple offers, things happening. I mean, we used to sit in the lobby at Realty One in Pepper Pike, and I wanted to go last, there were 4 people in front of me to present to the seller, and then you just said it, to present in person at the conference room to the seller, or like
Yep.
Smith Kramer office, Howard Head office in Sugar in Solon where I worked, and you would be like it was the best part, it was the best part, and
That's why our deal stayed together though,
oh,
because they got to feel the excitement and what the buyer was going through and why they wanted their house. That's why deals stayed together.
I do agree with that. I know we just went down a fabulous rabbit hole. I love that. And if you're sitting there listening, going, "Oh my gosh, these 2 are old," you know, it's it's no different today than saying, "I'm not going to text this. I'm actually going to call you and say I'd like to meet with you in person." You are better in person, and there's a 98% success rate when you show up in person. It just is.
And even if you can't call, like if you can't call in person or can't meet them in person, call the agent, at least tell the agent the story
That's right.
of the buyer. So the agent knows, so she can or he can tell the sellers.
It's really a lot of emotional intelligence when you think about it. How are
Mhm.
people going to respond to hearing the information? As you grew your team, your company, the Halstead team now, what was the biggest challenge in growth in scaling that you had to overcome? Was it delegation? Was it, systems? You getting out of your own way? Like, what would you say was like one of those biggest hurdles that you had to deal with?
When you're a team lead and you have an A personality, sometimes you can say and do things that you don't mean. I got my assistant threw a pencil at my head once because I said something mean to her. But probably delegation and just realizing they're not me. Like, let them be who they are, because nobody's me. I'm me, right? So you can't expect your team to do it exactly like you. Every team member to do exactly like you do it, to act like you do, to do business like you do. You got to let them do their own business inside your business, and they will grow. Your job, if you're going to if you're going to be a team lead, your job is to let them grow. Like, and without them growing, they're not going to be successful. Like, I think about my son all the time. He's 32 and he is so good. I keep training him and but it's like his first 3 years, Sherri, I could have killed that kid. Like, I practically paid his bills because he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do the work. You know what I mean? But then he got it. Once he got it, he was like, oh, now he's fine. He's doing great. But that's the hardest part, is you got to let them be themselves, and you can't yell at them all the time and micromanage them. That's honestly having a team, you got to do that.
Well, and I want to point out that, we A-type personalities and, um, I used to say things to my team like, I'm really flexible, but it has to be this way, and this way, and I wasn't flexible at all. I would say it,
Right.
and I wanted to
Right.
think that I was, flexible because I was flexible with the schedule, but when it came to the details and, putting in systems and obviously you've done all of that because you're where you are, maybe tell agents what they should if they're thinking about building a team, what's the first thing they should do? I heard you say at your 10 million or less, even hire an assistant. What about bringing on team members? Should they go ISA, inside sales agent? Should they let a new agent join their team? Should they search for people who've already sold homes? Like, what worked best for you? I think your team were basically all new
Uh,
people, weren't they?
yeah, they were but my first team member I got, she was doing, I think, 2 million by herself.
Okay.
But you got to pay attention to what's in your office too, or agents that you meet. She didn't love listings. It wasn't her thing back then. So she wanted to just be a buyer's agent. She wanted me to handle the listings and her be a buyer's agent,
Okay.
which some people can some people do better at either side, right? So that I think the first thing you need if you're going to start a team is somebody to help you with buyers. Somebody to help you run. You can't be in this market, houses are selling in 2 hours. If I'm in the middle of something and I can't show that house that day, somebody else has to show it for me. So the best bet would be have a team member to do that. And
Okay.
then give them some of the commission, they're happy.
Well, so if and then do you let team members list? That's another question
I
people.
do. I didn't do that for a long time. I handled all the listings, but I started doing that. I think it might have been maybe when my husband got ill or a little bit before that. And I let them all list on their own. I still help them.
Okay.
I help them do their net sheets and I help them price the house right. There are some sellers that I've never met because my team has handled it.
Wow.
There are some team members that can, if I died tomorrow, the business would still run because they would handle it. And then there's some they're like, okay, where's Sonya? I need her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's again, it's your job if you're gonna have a team to let them grow so they can do their own business inside your business.
You said that at the beginning. You give them autonomy. You let them be who they are, and you said
Yeah.
they're not gonna be you, and that's okay. And actually, it's a beautiful thing because
That's one of the reasons I left. My blood was green. We all know I loved Howard Hanna.
yes,
But one of
me
the
too,
reasons
me
I
too.
left is because yeah, they didn't support teams as much as I wish they would have. Like, my team members never got awards. I was the only one up on stage, and I wanted some of these team members are doing 10, 12 million dollars a year. They deserve an award. And I loved that Keller Williams offered that, and they love getting them.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
you're
mean, I don't know what you're gonna do with all these when we're dead, but
you know, recognition and
right.
appreciation, obviously go a very, very, very
It does. It makes them feel good, and it's motivation to them to get to the next level too. So I think it's huge.
well, and the team concept all over the country has always been a very hot topic, one that, as when I was regional of that company and I helped teams grow, but it it comes down to, um, finding your place, finding the right model, finding the right home, and
Mhm.
agents today have a lot of choices, and, I also I spent the majority of my time at one company. I mean, we both did, and I
Right.
had a phenomenal career, a phenomenal
Oh,
run.
me too. Yeah.
Life changes, the business models have all changed, and, progression and innovation are very good things. So,
Yeah.
it
You
it takes
figure
courage,
out where you fit.
and it
Right.
takes courage to change, it takes courage to leap out and do something different. You, though, what I love about you is you're a risk taker, and if it doesn't work, you learn from it, you pick yourself back up, and you adjust and pivot, and you move on, and you did that at the age of 17. Like, I see people who, um, truly have built the life that they wanted when they were 15, 16, 18, 22. I was also the first, to go to college in my family, actually graduate, and then to be
Good for
able to
you.
say yeah, I was, and, you just and my mother, she grew up, very much like you, and she said, "I'm not living like this," and, those are the examples. You are an example to your children today, different than how we all.
Well, yeah, and speaking of my children, like, I've raised them all. I have one that's still 17. I'm not done with him yet, but he's at that age where you just wanna, um, but I've raised them to no matter what you do for a living, I don't care if I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, if you're working at Walmart, if you're being an Uber driver, doesn't matter. If you love it and you have passion for it, then stay there and make it a career. Cause it doesn't matter. Like if it's passion, if you're passionate about your job, it's never gonna be a job to you. It's gonna
It
be fun,
That's right, it's not work.
right? It's not work.
It's actually just what you do. With great talent, my mother would say this to me all the time. She'd send me off to school, whatever, and she would say, "Go be a leader." Every day of my life, she said, "Go be a leader." And then she said, "Always, with great talent, gifts you've been given, comes great responsibility to give that away, to share it." I love that you teach, train, coach people, and tell your story to say, write down what you love. Picture your world differently than it is. If you're listening right now intently, which I'm sure you are, I'm going to ask you, what are the things people should, and they can be quick, what should agents stop doing that's not working? Like, running after leads, chasing this, doing, spending money on things that are, what are some of those things they should stop doing, Sonia? And then what are the like 2 to 3 things they should start doing immediately and put into action?
If you buy leads, you buy leads. I think it's crazy, but because you have a sphere of people. Every single one of us has at least 1,000 people we know in our family and friends that you could call or mail cards to every day
Mhm.
and ask for business. Yes, it may take 6 phone calls or 6 cards to get something back. But if you do that every single day and you work on just your sphere, just your people, everybody you meet should go on your phone. Everybody. You should Facebook them, friend them. Y- Anybody. It doesn't I don't care if it's somebody you just meet at Walmart. You walk away, your phone says, "Hey, you know this person." Yes, friend them. Because you might have touched their soul in a way when you met them for the first time that they're not going to forget you. And that is how you build your business. It's not buying leads from these companies that are going to charge you tons of money for them and then you have to pay them 30% back or 40% back.
Oh, yeah.
Your leads are going to come right from your own sphere. If you work on that, it's going to work. It will work.
It's so great. And, it's like, do these things. Does your team, you do a lot of open houses, right? Your team does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big
I'm
on-
very big on open houses. You know, sometimes, it's a waste, but to me it's not. You literally met people that you never met.
Right.
Like Jackie did an open house Sunday. She met the people. She of course showed them the house. They ended up coming back and they ended up buying it. Now, no, not from her, of course, because they had their own agent.
Yeah.
But she met somebody that they must have liked her. They wouldn't have came back like a half hour later. Like they, you know, when you meet somebody, you never know. Like everybody has an agent, but you don't know if they're gonna like you better. You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. We all know that people jump around from
Yeah.
agents to agents, and you just don't know when you're going to meet somebody that's going to be like, I want to work with her or him. So
Yeah.
everybody you meet should know you're a realtor. Everybody.
I love it. And do you actively use a spreadsheet, a CRM? Like, what's your database and where do you put it?
We Keller Williams has it's called Command, and I use that as my CRM now. It's
Okay.
amazing. I also, of course, I have spreadsheets on everything. I feel like I'm a walking spreadsheet.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
But, I do we do a lot of that too. So because I gotta keep track of
Yeah.
everything. I have to see it. I'm a paper person, so I gotta see it.
That's right. Well, and I can't wait to launch, Gold Mine Pipeline with your team because it's gonna literally catapult speaking of spreadsheet, that whole system of Gold Mine Pipeline. Um, People say to me, what is the best CRM? And I say the one that you use.
Yeah.
Just have
Any of them that you use, right?
and
As
I
long as you're using something.
Facebook, phone, connection. When you meet somebody, I bet they get a note card from you. Is that typically what you
I do. I usually go on, I friend them, I find out where they live, I usually send them a little card, I do
Yeah,
that. I don't do that every single time, I'm not gonna lie,
okay.
but I do that. I friend I have over 6,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah,
Um, and I constantly invite people to be attached to me for whatever reason. I built a very, very successful social media, career. I get a ton of business from
yeah,
social media. You have to, I kind of tell my newer agents that join my team, no, you're not famous, but you kind of are. Like when you're a realtor, your life is out there. People see what you're doing. They want to know what you're doing. And if you are quiet and don't put anything on social media, I think you're hurting yourself. I
it's
really do. Like you got to be out there in public.
and by the way, everybody, you look and sound on video the same way you look and sound in person. So like get over here doing video, you know?
Well, you got to be real too. Like, I never wanted to be that agent that showed up in a suit and you were in jeans and a sweatshirt. Like I always want to be a real person to people. Like I have the same problems you've had in my life. You know what I mean?
I get
And
it.
that's
It's
so
relatable.
important.
It's very relatable, and people relate to you, and they immediately feel comfortable with you.
Hmm.
And in doing that, the confidence you have that you spoke about earlier creates a relationship on built on trust and confidence. I feel comfortable and confident that a person I'm talking to can take me through this process. I love your entire story, and I absolutely want to have you back to talk about
Okay.
technology. What we're gonna do is technology and social media next. I'll have you on again.
Yeah.
Everyone,
AI is amazing me. Like
yes,
A-
well,
AI is fun.
we're gonna talk AI. We're gonna talk social media and other things you're doing. We'll have a second part 2 with Sonja Halstead from the Halstead team at Keller Williams
Thank
Experience
you.
IO. And listen, everybody, follow Sonja. Her social media links will be in the podcast below. You can reach out to her with referrals. You can reach out.
Questions, new agents, I will help you.
I love
I
it.
don't care where you work or what you have. I've had everything happen in my career. So if you need help, call me. I will help you through it.
That's amazing. And, take action and take things today that you heard and put them into execution mode and actually do them and do the things we talked about, outlining what to do, how many things you do on a daily basis, having a consistent daily routine. Maybe you get up at 4 a.m., maybe you go to bed earlier, maybe you adjust your life and follow this unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're an icon.
No, I don't
You
know if
are
I'm an icon,
no,
but
you
thank
are.
you.
You are in literally, the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned, and I'm looking forward to a lot of great things with you. I am so excited that people get to hear your story and that you are, willing to share it because that's
Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that.
So everybody, Sonja Halstead, Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm going to say it again: send referrals. She'll take them.
Yeah.
Follow you on social media, and stay tuned for the next episode where Sonja and I are going to break down what she does on social with AI and with a whole social media marketing plan. Thank you. I can't wait to
Thank you.
team in person and continue this awesome conversation we're having. Everyone, it's time. Tune in, send this to somebody who might need it. Follow us, leave a review, and definitely connect with me anytime. I'm Sherri Johnson. You rock. I'll see you on the next episode of the Sherri Johnson Show. Sonja, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
everybody have
Bye-bye.
a great listing and sales week,
Bye-bye.
whatever day this is that you're listening and tuning in. I'm Sherri Johnson. I'll see you soon.